today. I'm Jera. This is Cheryl from NonStopParis. The link to her channel will be below. Don't forget to look at both of our channels and subscribe before you leave because we've got amazing videos for you guys, so check them out. Today we are going to be talking about minimalism is different for everybody. It's not the same for everybody, or it shouldn't be. Although I don't like to say should because should is like a bad word, but
there's a lot of messaging online. There's a lot of messaging online that kind of has the same thing, everyone's saying the same thing over and again, and it creates a picture that everyone has to fit into a box.
It's like the videos, even the people will make the same exact videos instead of thinking more about the aspect of minimalism and how it affects their personal life. Like, that's why you're watching people, is to figure out how it affects your personal life. So like for me, when I came here, she was like, oh, I would not call myself a minimalist because I don't look like how I'm supposed to look. And I'm like, there's no way how you're supposed to look. And then I would look around and be like, yeah, you're totally a minimalist.
Right, yeah. I guess I kind of am on the spectrum maybe, but I'm about as far into just being a normal person. Worst word and terminology ever, but you guys know what I mean. I'm about as far away from the extreme minimalism as you can be, but I've still definitely used minimalism and its kind of messaging to improve myself, because I used to be a massive shopaholic and like hoarder, like really bad, and I've been able to cut back on that and really think more like instinctively and what's the word that everyone uses online? Be more intentional with what I'm buying, which is what everyone says, which is us being hypocritical. Because yeah, everyone has these buzzwords that they use in their minimalism videos, and I just used one of them. So
well, you know, sometimes they're there because they're important. Say there is a big minimalist out there that a lot of people know and see, and so there's a lot of association that if you are a minimalist, your house must like look like this. You must dress only in black, white, gray clothes. You can't have color. You can't have a couch, or if you have these things, it has to be like very purposeful and everything. That's not entirely true, because there is different ways to have stuff in your house if you're utilizing it. And I think that's like, the minimalist community, or the people who watch the minimalist community, like to shame people, like, you're not minimalist, when I don't think that's true at all. If you're living with the intention and you're like, no, but this facilitates the life that I live every single day, then that's important. It still makes you a minimalist because it's fucking important to your life. Yeah,
it's not about counting the amount of items you own.
Although I do that sometimes.
Yeah, but that's the thing, like, if you want to do that, then you can, but that's not what you have to do.
Yeah, that's not
you can choose to do that.
I think if you shoot for like only that too, like if you're always just like, oh, I have to have this many things, like you're losing the point of it. Yeah. Because that's not really the purpose.
The number isn't really the thing.
Yeah.
It's more about the connection that you have with items, which is like, for me, that's the spark. That's the thing that I had to get rid of, because I would look through old stuff that I had and I'd be like, oh, maybe one day, or this, I like the colour, or this reminds me of a memory, which obviously your memory is in your brain, not in an old t-shirt that you bought from a trashy tourist shop one day, you know what I mean? And removing that connection, like mental connection with belongings, is what for me has brought me a lot of freedom and a lot of like mental clarity, and I think that's way more important than having a number, you know?
Yeah, definitely. It's like, and I think we forget that minimalism is trying to figure out how to remove emotions from stuff. So that's why if people want to call themselves minimalists, it's because they're like, oh, I'm intentionally removing some of these emotions from my things, so if I lose them, if there's a fire, if there's a flood, if there's a tornado, if there's an earthquake, I'm good, because like my whole life is not in that table or chair, grandma's locket.
Exceptions being like dogs and cats and like
very much, but then they're not objects, they are beings.
Yeah, or like the one odd item that, you know, if you have something that has a really strong sentimental value, then it's like a conscious decision that you're making, and you recognize that it's not something that you have in everything you own, you know?
Yeah, because not everything is important. Yeah. It just isn't.
Yeah, so true.
Like, have you seen how much stuff there is outside, or when you go to the store? It is so meaningless. So much of it is so meaningless. That's part of the reason, like, I was having trouble in Japan, was like, the first time I went there, I was like, this is incredible. And then this time I went there, I was like, why is there so much shit that nobody's using, that look at all this hours, this, like, you look at the stuff, it's all hours of people having slaved over, worked over to make this stuff that's sitting there that nobody's buying, nobody's using, it's not being utilized.
Yeah, and all that money that you're spending is obviously time that you've spent earning
your
it.
time.
And, you know, people are just becoming slaves to their jobs and like having to earn more money just so that they can continue this kind of lifestyle, and then you never achieve freedom or time to do what you want to do, or money to spend on experiences that you want to have. And, you know, now I have that, I'm kind of like, well, I've achieved that through minimalism, so am I a minimalist?
I would say yes. I would say definitely yes.
Yeah.
And she wears the wardrobe. I'm just kidding.
I do. I have to admit, I definitely have a black, white, grey, and then a couple of little, like I'm wearing khaki green. But, you know, that's because it suits me and it works for me, but that doesn't mean that you can't have blue hair and, you know, wear things that don't fit the mould. And I think that there's definitely some kind of messaging online that, you know, suggests that you should look more like, monochromatic or... But I just think that's completely ridiculous. It just doesn't... It's almost like, where's that come from? I
know where it comes from.
Really?
It's because that way everything matches. But if anybody has seen the stuff that I wear around, like my stuff does not always match. But there's something cool in like stuff not matching that makes it look like, well, that fucking kind of goes.
Yeah.
So
like eclectic.
Like, you don't know, you might set a trend by you just wearing, I fucking love this and I fucking love that, and you put those two things together and you're like, all of a sudden everybody's wearing it and you're like,
yeah. I have to say, for me, I used to have a wardrobe that was just, I had every colour of the rainbow basically inside it, and it just used to cause so much stress, and I was that stereotypical person that had so many clothes and nothing to wear. Whereas now I'm like, black jeans, black t-shirt, I'm good. Like, I can go out the door, you know. So there's so many other things to worry about in life. I don't want to have to be putting together outfits when I'm not really even a fashion person and don't really even care about it. Yeah. But you kind of feel that pressure to, you know, conform, I guess. And that for me is, again, the main thing that minimalism's brought me, because it's, you know, actually you don't need to conform to, you know, the consumerist lifestyle. Yeah. So thank you. Thanks.
Is there any particular reason that you tend to get like gray, black clothes? Like, do you not like as much bright colors? Because I guess I don't see tons of bright colors in your house either.
No, I don't know. I guess I do. I mean, I used to always wear black when I was a teenager because I was like one of those people, you know. But I guess when I reached kind of late teens, I started to get more influenced by regular fashion and things like that. And I'd always buy things that were trendy or whatever, and you'd end up with things that are trendy, but things that there's no kind of style there. There's nothing that you know. It doesn't look like or feel like me. Yeah. Whereas now, as I feel like whenever
you're fitting in, but you're not inside. You're not fitting in.
Exactly.
So, is there anybody that you watched, like, that you started to do the same stuff that they were doing?
In terms of minimalists, I don't know, I'd say I was very heavily influenced by people like Jenny Mustard and Sarah Nurse. I really like their style, which I guess is why I kind of look perhaps more like your typical minimalist in terms of what I wear, like with the black, white and grey and like the odd colour. But at the same time, I'm very aware when I'm making my videos that I don't want to necessarily tell people that this is a certain way you have to look or the way you have to be. But I don't know if I've necessarily struck that balance yet, which I think is why this conversation is important, because there's not a lot of people talking about that, and the fact that, you know, you can look like Jera, you can look like me and still be a minimalist. Like, there's not one particular box or way of being I preach that all the time. It's like, which is why I watch your videos, I'm not gonna lie. It's good to see someone who's a new face of minimalists and a new representation. So
subscribe, don't forget to subscribe.
Subscribe to Jen.
And subscribe to her too. Link below. I think it's very important to take what you see and what you like. It's just like everything in life. Like, find all the things you like. Just like with the stuff, it's not always about the stuff. It's also about aspects of people you like in life. Like, and becoming like a collage of everything you like in the world. So if you become pieces of everything that you like in the movies that you like, the TV you like, the quality and traits in friends that you like if they're really honest or they're really, you know, giving, like you take that and use that for yourself. I feel like that is minimalist at its core, is just being your favorite of everything. And you'll become a very different version than what you see, because you're made up of like 1,000 million different things, instead of I do what Jenny Mustard does, or I do what the minimalists say to do. I wear black t-shirts all the time, or even, what is it, Facebook guy. He only wears like gray t-shirts and jeans all the time.
Right.
I only do that because he said to do that. And like, well, maybe your favorite color is like green. Like, why aren't you wearing a green t-shirt every day instead?
Like head to toe yellow, you can still be a minimalist.
Yeah,
and, like, look like a rainbow, like walk around in the pride flag. You can still be a minimalist. Like.
Yeah. What's your favorite thing, and put that into your aspect of it, because what you see other people do is what they've already worked on for themselves, and it's not about for you out there, viewers, is, you know, just don't do what everybody else does. See how they do it and be like, how would I do that? Always think like, what would I do as that? Not like, what would Jera do? I'm gonna do what Jera does. Don't fucking do what Jera does. Copy some of the stuff, but not all of it.
I guess use your ability to recognize yourself and take the autonomy.
Yes.
Because if you, like, for example, I'm sure you guys have been invited to a party or like something, and you're like,
I'm sorry.
and you know, you're like, I should go. But I'd rather just be with my cat and have a cup of tea.
That's okay.
But, yeah, just, you know, recognize.
That's why I said that should word. I don't like should, because like you don't have to do what you're supposed to do. And who are the people that?
Because who decided what you're supposed to do?
Exactly. Who decided? Is it a bunch of old white guys? Seriously, people, there's a lot of old white guys making decisions for, when I went to VidCon, there was a lot of old white guys that were at the top, and there was teenage girls at the bottom. That is a weird mixture of people who's telling what is important. That is fucking creepy. There should be women, at least women at the top, like, because if it's teenage girls. Because women was fucking creepy as shit.
That's true.
I didn't really say that about the VidCon, but it's true.
Yeah, because you think, like, I don't know what girls in the UK, for example, are into in terms of fashion, like Topshop. It's owned by a guy, an old white guy. That's just one example. Come on.
But I think that if you just push for more of your stuff, we're gonna have more of those things. Just like what's the girl boss, Sophia Amoroso? Like, she built that whole huge brand just being herself. And there are strong women out there, like Lena Dunham. Like, there are strong women out there you can be like, but that are very them. Like, Lena Dunham's very her kind of person. Like, nobody else is like Lena Dunham. I don't know how we got to Lena Dunham. There's a link there.
But basically, find people that you admire and perhaps take aspects of what they say, and perhaps if you like the way they dress, you can start to incorporate that into your own life, but don't emulate them. You know? Yeah,
don't do a whole, you don't need to be a photocopy of somebody. Especially that black and white photocopy.
Which is especially important in minimalism, because so many people will say to you, you're not a minimalist because you don't do this, or you're a minimalist because you don't dress this way. So let's not attack each other within a community and, you know, further reinforce that.
You know. Let's celebrate people's differences in the same area, because if there's more differences in the same thing, you create a bigger community than if everybody, if it has to be so the same, so niche, that the community just gets smaller, smaller, smaller.
Yeah, it's so true.
You want more people to do it.
Yeah.
Alright guys, if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, give it a thumbs up, put some comments in the comment section below. Be sure to check out Cheryl's channel. She's from Paris. She lives in Paris. She changed her whole life of living in the UK. Now she lives in Paris, so it's very interesting. Check out her channel. Yeah. And she let me stay at her place, man. Come on. And what else do we have to say? Don't forget to check me out on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, mostly Instagram, mostly Snapchat, also Cheryl. Links will be below. And
don't forget to subscribe before you leave.
That's right. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, guys. Subscribe. Anyways. I'm Jera Sky. This is Cheryl from NonStopParis.
We
Sky's the
gotta
limit. Paris is awesome. We gotta go. It's so hard to do an outro with somebody else who knows what you do.
Shit. Apologies to Jera editing this back. Balls.